Just tell your parents I'll leave the keys.
That's okay.
Oh.
It's fine.
What was that?
The boots.
Oh. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Not sure how much of that intro Holly's going to keep in there, but we are we're on two couches. Lots of people on two couches. Casey's just out of camera shot. She's there. And we're in Lake Placid.
Yay.
It is 9:34 at night. And we just got done with doing something all day.
Logan and I raced.
So we have like a literal immediate post-race recap. Mm-hmm. Before we get to that, should we tell our fans what we are?
Oh, I'm not good at the intro. You do the intro.
And she's running on not enough calories in her brain. We are average age groupers, where we talk about endurance sports coming from the world of average human beings.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm Laura.
I'm Holly.
I'm Claire.
And I'm Logan.
I'm Maggie.
And I'm Aaron.
And we're the Brady Bunch.
The whole gang's together.
So the last episode that anyone will have heard would have been the one where you guys talked about your build to Lake Placid, your last long rides coming up. Now we're here, and you've raced it. It's over. They both finished in the light. But I think we have now referred to that Logan and Maggie raced multiple times, which might be a dead giveaway that Aaron did not. So maybe Aaron would like to update all of our listeners as to why he will be telling his side of the story from the vantage point of a spectator rather than a racer.
Cliff notes on the longest ride to the build 2 weeks ago. I crashed my bike. I broke my collarbone in 2 places. And a week and a half ago, I had surgery to put it back together, and I now have a plate and 10 screws. So I had to transfer to another race, or was able to transfer to another race. So hopefully I can mend and rebuild in 8 weeks from now.
For what race, Aaron?
Ironman Wisconsin.
Insert applause. Yay!
Where's the cowbell?
More cowbell! Anything else on the accident? I mean, it pivoted our Colorado weekend pretty quickly. I will say, Aaron didn't skip a beat. We were at pizza 4 hours later.
4 hours post-crash.
4 hours post-crash. And we stayed out there. We kept training. And here we are.
By we, that was everyone but me.
Yeah.
Just to be clear.
Yeah, correct. I mean, the ER doctor, I'm pretty sure, would have let the man race if all of us were on board. But we said nada.
I'm okay with this.
Pivot. We got to pivot. We got to get a new bike.
There's that.
So we'll
And
keep you
helmet,
tuned on that. Maybe we can do like a
shoes.
podcast unboxing of your bicycle on the yeah. Okay. You too. We're passing the mics.
Okay. Well, we woke up. I woke up at, 3:55. Made a cup of coffee. Was able to eat most of my breakfast. You ate almost all of your breakfast, which was great.
I was actually impressed with Maggie's breakfast. I was up at that time with her, and I was like, how many calories in that bowl? And she's like, 1,000. I was like, that is very impressive.
Yeah, it was taking me a while. I kept sitting and staring at it, and then I would take a bite, and I would sit and stare for a while again. But you ate all of your yogurt, so that was good.
Yeah, there's only like 3/4 of it left, but I did eat it all, which was surprising.
Yeah, that's good for you. Yeah. So then, we left here at 5, got down to transition, and immediately got yelled at.
Scolded was probably the better term.
Yeah. Aaron dropped us off I really was the one who made the decision to get out of the car there. You gave me the option, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. But apparently where we were not supposed to, and a guy was like, we've had multiple crashes here in the past, and what you're doing is so unsafe, and I could give you a penalty for this. And so that was a good start to the morning.
I didn't send him off. I didn't say anything. They got out, and they shut the doors, and I drove away. I'm like,
So you had no idea this happened?
oh, I heard it happen. But I was like, at that point, you guys were out of the car, and you had made the decision, and you were having the conversation. It's not like you're going to get back in the car, because that's only going to make it more likely.
This is true.
Only more likely for there to be an incident. Mm-hmm. So I just drove away. You had your phones. If you really needed something, I could come back.
Yes, this is true. I just kept saying, I'm sorry, and then we just kept walking. So
I'm pretty sure I just looked at the guy and didn't say a word and kept walking.
yes, that is accurate. So then we, went into transition and set up all of our stuff.
I went to go drop off my special needs runner bag, which was a 1/4 mile away from the swim staging area. And they made it sound like it was right next to it. And then Maggie went to go get in the restroom line, which I beat her walking to the drop-off and back, and we still had to wait like another 10 minutes.
It was like 15. We were waiting a long time. Yeah, but then went to the bathroom. It was kind of challenging to find you guys.
Yeah. Also, there was only like 10 porta potties over there.
Yeah, really not a lot.
And access like everyone. This wasn't just like a
Right.
porta potties in an athlete area. Like everyone was using them.
Also, we were talking with the guys in line behind us because the lines were really dumb. They were crossing.
Well, they were situated as like an L. So
It
like,
was, yeah.
yeah. And yeah, there was a lot of congestion down at the swim start because I think but like the swim staging was also the swim exit. Like it was all in the same area. And you guys had a special part of this race that I won't mention until you mention. So, yeah, we were waving our hands like we didn't care.
So by the time we found you guys, I think we had like 15 minutes, maybe. No, you had less. I had more.
Yeah, because the male pros had started.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
So
no.
they were about to start.
Were about to start, yeah.
So we had, about 12 minutes to get our wetsuits on and in line. And everybody was standing on the beach with the timing people standing maybe 15 feet apart from each other. So everyone was trying to scramble to the front to get into a spot, and no one was moving.
Yep. So I got on my wetsuit, probably the fastest I ever have in my life. So that was fun. And then took a few sips of water, and then I ran away.
Okay, but like, was it less nerve-wracking just having to like do it and go? Like you weren't standing there for God knows how long.
I feel like I was very chill this morning, except for being a little stressed about the timing of it, but otherwise not anxious.
I was a little anxious because I wasn't able to get to the spot that I wanted to be. But then I kind of just said, I guess this is where I'm starting today, and then let that be what it was and didn't worry about it anymore.
Yep. I did work my way up to the hour to hour 10 section, which is where I wanted to start. So, and it was nice once I got up there, it was pretty spaced out. So I had a good amount of space to like do some arm circles and warm up a little bit. I was thinking, sorry to like throw shade at other races, but no one does a start the way Ironman does a start. It's so hype. Like they've got everyone like stomping and clapping. Like, and then they're playing Thunderstruck by AC/DC, and you're just like, yes.
We're doing like a war call, clapping our hands.
There were like fireworks going off over the swim start gate.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was a good one.
To call out, this was a Pro Series race. I don't know that any regular run-of-the-mill Ironman without a Pro Series start would have all of that. So, like, just so we're not hyping our listeners up and then you go to, like, you know, a non-Pro Series race and you're like, what the heck, this is super lame.
But even Wisconsin, they play Thunderstruck. Yeah, they do the music. I still think, like, I don't know. It still feels hype. Probably more similar to other races, and this one is just like extra special because it's the Pro Series. But I was having that thought as I was standing there. I was like, nothing beats this. It's so good.
Well, also you're like standing there and you're like, oh my god, I want to do an Ironman again.
Yeah.
Like ready to start sobbing.
I have a question for Logan, though.
Me all day.
I want to do an Ironman again.
Yeah.
There was a gap, Logan, in the start. How did you feel about that?
Oh yeah, the men came through while I was waiting, and then the women, yes. So the swim was 2 laps, and as the men came around, they were going to be back in line with all the swimmers. So I don't think they put a pause on that one, but then when the women pros came around, they put a pause in the start, which kind of spread us out even more from the faster group of people, which then made them, it's like Maggie went out before the break, which the group that went with her ended up catching us a lot sooner in our laps, which made everything, which was already congested, much more congested for the people who aren't as quick at swimming.
Why was the break in there? What was the
Yeah, like-
difference between this race and
What's it
other
called?
2-loop races?
The Aussie exit, where you have to come out on the beach and then run back through the start gate and then jump back in the water to do your second lap.
So that's what the pause was. The pro women were getting out of the water doing the Aussie exit.
Yes, that
Okay.
that would be correct.
Okay, you talked about the swim.
Well, I have
Was
more to
it?
say
Yeah, I was
about
like,
the
what
swim.
about?
I feel like I barely talked about the
I
swim.
was sitting there like I was gonna say what was the feedback? What were your thoughts? Because I heard Logan's earlier, and so I can't wait for him to talk about that.
So I did go off in the hour to hour 10 group, and so it's all faster swimmers. And the first lap, everyone was so aggressive. Like, people kept hitting me. There was this one guy I was next to, and we were going the same speed, and he just was really smacking me. And I kept trying to get away from him, and we would just end up near each other again. And he would, like, grab my shoulder and, like, yank on it. And I was like, this is not that serious. Can we calm down? But then when I started the second lap, so then we were amongst people who were still starting their first lap. It was actually way more chill, which I was shocked by because there were so many more people in the water. But I think people wanted to, like, have space.
I was going to say, it's the slow swimmers who are like, yeah, we're all just here to finish this. So, like, don't worry about us and, like, not out here to win or get a slot or do anything. Just here to finish. It is a very different vibe than the front of the race.
It's so nice. I will say, at one point on the second lap, I ran into a kayak because the kayaks and paddleboards kept, like, coming into the line of swimmers. So I hit something and I was like, what the heck? And then I look up and it's a kayak. And I was like, sorry, I guess? I feel like you should be saying sorry to me. And then around the first turn buoy, we made the turn and we're headed towards the second turn buoy. And then someone just starts swimming literally perpendicular to the direction that we're going. And I was so confused, but he just, like, kept coming in front of me. And I was like, what is going on? So I feel like those were the main interesting things on the swim. I did swallow quite a bit of water because people were being so aggressive on the first lap. But I did enjoy it. It was beautiful.
So my swim was not as enjoyable, but I don't know, we're 4 people going at a time. So I lined up on the second gate from the right, in the buoys that were following. They had a tether to them, keeping them all in the same spot, which is really easy to follow if you're on the line. So you can just look at it instead of having to bring your head up to sight for another buoy to swim at. I had decided I wasn't going to try to sit on that line because I didn't want to deal with the people fighting for it. So I just went from the second line straight out, but then everybody that was jumping in on the third and fourth were diving over, trying to, like, fight for the line. So the first, 500-ish meters was very chaotic, and I got hit a bunch, and then I just not super comfortable in the water, so I started having a little bit of a panic attack. And whenever I decide to stop swimming, I pick my head up and look behind me, and then I cut out so I'm not in the line of people.
This is the smart way to do
Yes.
it.
And I think a lot of people at this race were just like, oh, I'm going to sit up and tread water right in the middle. And I think that's why the kayaks and stuff were diving into the swimmers. So at that point, I collected myself and then kept swimming, and everything was fine after that. I just stayed to the outside, probably a little bit further away than I needed to. But there was people around me, so it felt better. And then I made it all the way around, got out of the water, which is actually really helpful because I was able to take a breath, collect myself, and then jump back in and start swimming. But then I was like almost done. There was like maybe 500 meters to go. And then I felt like this ball in my chest kind of like working its way up. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to throw up in the water right now.
Oh, no.
And like Maggie said, the water was really choppy. So I think I was swallowing a lot of water, and that water was not
Gross.
the cleanest.
Wait, I have to comment on this because the announcer specifically said not to warm yourself up with
Your own warming device. And we stood there, we're like, so don't pee in your wetsuit?
because they use Mirror Lake water for drinking water. And I'm like, you're just going to have 1,500 athletes get in this water and they're all going to pee in their wetsuit.
100%.
So I just found that funny that they consider it clean.
But yeah, so at that point I sat up again, and then my chest and stomach settled down. So then I put my head back in, and I was able to finish just fine. I wasn't having the greatest swim to begin with, and then throughout the swim I kind of decided I was going to have fun today, and I wasn't going to try to do anything super hard or super crazy. So that's kind of at the point where my mind shifted, and I was just decided to have fun and a good day. So
Amazing.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah. It was quite a long run from the swim exit to transition.
And we had to lay down in the sand to get our wetsuits off.
The number of people on their bikes who had sandy butts.
They did have a good thought, and they brought mats out onto the beach, but as soon as the first 10 people step on those, running off the sand, it's covered in sand.
Yes, that was funny. Run into transition, grab my bag. I already had my kit on underneath my wetsuit, so I just had to put on my socks and shoes and like put stuff in my jersey pockets and helmet, sunglasses, and then head out for the bike. I really had to pee, and I had no idea where the porta potties were except for outside of the men's change tent, which I didn't stop at because I was like, there's got to be ones near the women's change tent. No.
Which men were also running into the tent, dumping out their bag, grabbing stuff, running into the porta potties to go change.
Why?
That's what the tents are for.
Right.
Have to be private. Heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid
Heaven
someone
forbid.
see your butt.
Someone see your butt.
So I really had to pee, so I just ran out to my bike, and I wanted to take a gel before I started the bike, so I just stood and peed while I was taking my
Pee in your
Case-
wetsuit.
not my wetsuit, my kid.
The number of times we have documented of Maggie just like,
Specifically in these bibs. A lot of peeing in them.
You told me no.
You didn't ask me. You asked Logan.
yeah, you asked Logan specifically if he peed in his kit. Just come.
But yeah, then I grabbed my bike and I headed out on the bike course. Do you want to talk about your transition?
I usually sprint through the transition run into transition and then grab all my stuff and in a very big hurry put all my shoes and my helmet on and then put whatever I need in my pockets. This time I kind of meandered out of the water. I found all these guys and I said hello, and then I continued along. But then once I got on the pavement, I realized like, oh, this is actually a really long run. So I did run pretty quickly into transition, but then I grabbed my bag and then sat down and took a few minutes just to make sure I had everything, all my shoes tightened correctly, my glasses where I wanted them, and because I still, even though I wasn't trying to PR or qualify for Kona or anything, I still wanted to execute my bike plan how I had it. So I figured if I just take a few more seconds in transition so I don't have to deal with anything out on the road, that would make that task a lot easier. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So head out on the bike. You go through town a little bit. So there are a few tight turns to start. And then you climb out of town. And then do this little out and back to like the bobsled area, which was interesting because we drove out there and I really thought it was going to be a hairpin turn. But the way they set it up, we went around like part of the
it seemed like a cross country like staging area for like before a race where they would like
Yeah.
line up all the racers and then let them go because they had all like the numbers. It's kind of like a like a Formula One track.
So it was like a track. Like we went around this little path. So it was like pretty narrow and I mean, really smooth pavement. So that was nice, but otherwise not the most ideal. And then climb a little bit more. And then you do the descent, which was so fun. Just so fun. I don't even know how many miles it was, but I had a 5-mile split where my average was 30 miles per hour for that section, which was, I was just like having the time of my life, truly. And I was passing men who have to weigh 40 or 50 pounds more than me. And I was like, nice. Like these people should be going faster than me and I am passing them. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that section. Do you want to kind of like ping pong back and forth? Okay. What do you think of that bit?
Well, coming out of transition, just to start, there was a hairpin turn not too far from when you get on your bike. And then it was a pretty rough, steep descent into the bottom of town, which I probably took quite a bit faster than I should have. But I was feeling good and everything went smoothly. So wouldn't recommend it, but I had fun. And then when I was getting on my bike, I clipped in and then the guy next to me missed his clip and then veered into me.
Oh,
So then I like put my arm, like hand on his back to like stabilize him so he didn't hit me even more. And then I unclipped. And then he looked at me, he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, "No, are you okay?" Just go. Like, we don't need to talk about it.
we don't need to talk about it.
But yeah, out through town, I was pushing pretty hard. And then all the way into the bobsled area. I was trying to attack pretty hard on the climbs and then soft pedal on the descents and the flat areas just to recover so I could attack another climb. But then when I hit the big descent, I was in the aero bars, planning not to touch the brakes, but there was a pretty gross cross headwind, so it would catch my front tire and like shift the bike around. And there was also a lot of people sitting up, shoulder to shoulder, holding their brakes, going the same speed, so you had to like try to slide around them without freaking them out, because when you were yelling that you were behind them, they couldn't hear because we were just moving too quick. So it was a little sketchy, but also really fun. So
I forgot about that. I told you this earlier. I did, with one crosswind, like jump over a few inches unintentionally, but it was fun. There were also rumble strips in the middle of the road there, so it wasn't like you could, I mean, you never want to cross the yellow line, but like you really were limited there. So people needed to get over to the right and people were riding in the middle or to the left.
Yep. And I was watching a lot of people just cut on the right sides, like as close as they could do. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
But super fun. I would love to go back with the bigger cassette and just really push it. What?
Thoughts?
Yeah, you're like safety first. I do understand, but it was so fun.
So back to the cassette you had on your bike, not the one that you just had to put on your bike.
I am really happy with the one that I have on my bike because it made the climbing much better. But we'll get to this later, but I kept waiting for a point for the hills to feel really hard, and they didn't, which I was grateful for. So
Do you mean, I don't think you mean cassette. You mean front chain ring.
yeah, because I guess I couldn't put on a cassette that would make, probably a front chain
you
ring.
want a bigger front chain ring so that you can push on the downhill.
It's a dinner plate.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I have a question for you too.
Yeah.
So the bobsled that was like on the side of the road.
Yeah.
How close did that thing feel to you? Because there was a post. There was a post somewhere. I don't know if it was. I don't think it was on your left. Someone posted about how dangerous and like inconsiderate it was to have a bobsled that close to the road with these pro athletes going by.
No.
Perfect. Just had to check.
You're going to ride into the grass?
That's what. Yeah, correct.
No.
If you're next to the bobsled, you're probably crashing.
Yeah.
So.
That's a wild.
All right. So you big descent. You hit flats, and then what?
Yeah, big descent. You hit flats. There was a bit of headwind there.
Yes, on the first time around, it felt worse. But
Yeah. And then this is like skipping ahead a little ways, but I think it was close to J where there's the penalty tent, and the volunteers staffing the penalty tent were dressed up in black and white stripes.
Yeah, and there was like a sign beforehand. It was like the prisoners of
Yes!
the Ironman bike ride.
Yes. It was so funny. I was cracking up.
And they were there all day. Like there wasn't those weren't the volunteers that like sub in and out. They were there.
No,
the
they
whole
were
day.
there all day. The second lap around, they were blowing bubbles too, which was fun. Yeah, and then you get up to J and you go through the covered bridge. And I feel like I was either entertaining or obnoxious to everyone around me because I'm like yelling. I'm like, woohoo, this is so fun. And then.
Did you go into that in a big pack? Because that was a no passing zone.
Yeah, that was a no passing zone. There were a few people in front of me and no one super close behind me.
Because we had a pretty good wolf pack of like 10 riders all within like wheels of each other, like trying to get through there. And it was pretty sketchy with those technical entrances and exits.
Yeah, because then also afterwards you went on like a bike path that had a pretty sharp turn.
And I thought that was going to be a straight bike path, so I grabbed a water bottle at that point because we were going 10 miles per hour. But then there's a hard left into a downhill with a bend at the bottom of it to go under the bridge. So like the shade like cuts your vision. And I was like scrambling to like hold the bottle and the hold the bottle and the bars at the same time. So
Not ideal. But that part was fun. I did enjoy
was fun.
that. I was glad that that was part of the course. Yeah, and then
we got to the fun climby bits.
yes, I did enjoy those parts.
I've never thought that in my life. Fun climbing bits.
I thought honestly the whole course was fun.
I've thought that.
Like I really enjoyed the whole thing. But yeah, that part was fun. When we made the turn out of J and then you go up that hill where we got the baked goods yesterday, the people were sitting there and I was like, we got your cinnamon rolls yesterday. And the woman was like, oh, thank you. And the guy was like, hell yeah. That was fun.
Was it worth me trying to kill you 2 weeks prior?
Yes, it was. Yep. Again, I kept thinking, like, when are the hills going to get hard? And they did not. So,
You're welcome.
yeah, thank you. I don't remember exactly where it was on the first loop, but I do have a really funny story, like very much foot in my mouth. Like, I feel kind of bad about it. I was passing this guy, and an important detail is I did not look at his bike as I was passing him. As I was passing him, he starts chatting with me. He's like, how's your day going? And I was like, I'm having so much fun. I'm having an amazing day. He's like, that's great. I live around here. I've done this course so many times. I know every turn. I'm like, that's awesome. Have a great day. So I pull in front of him, but I'm not that far in front of him yet. And another guy comes around and passes us, and he's got a really nice bike, and he's got a disc wheel. And the guy who I just passed is like, man, for a bike that nice, I would think that guy would be going faster. And I said to him, I was like, I think that about everyone I see with a disc wheel. Naturally, he passes me a moment later, and what does he have? A disc wheel. I was like, oh, no. So So then I pass him again, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I did not mean anything negative about you. And then he's like, well, I am like, I'm older. I'm like top 5 in my age group. I'm like, okay. Whatever. But that was really entertaining. I know.
No noises.
No noises. No one was grunting around me. So that was good.
That was the thought I had when you were talking about the swim. I was like, if only you could yell at him.
I know.
Or get away.
Yes. Uh-huh. And then not long after that, because you start to climb more, but there would still be bits where it would like, you would climb and then there'd be a bit of flat or even like a little downhill and then climb again. And this woman was so close behind me for at least 5 miles. And if it was just the hills, I would get it because people always bunch up on hills. But even when it would flatten out for a while or we'd go downhill, she was still so close behind me. And like, I get it might be people's first Ironman, but you can't draft in this race. And it was starting to drive me crazy. I like couldn't tell what her age was. I was like, I'm not pulling someone my age in. Like, that'd be so dumb. So eventually I turned around and I was like, listen, I'm sorry, but you're drafting off of me. Either back up or pass me. And so she eventually did a few miles later. And she was like, every time I went to pass you, my leg cramped. And I was like, okay. So that happened.
Yeah, but that bit between Jay and the final climb, that Jay climb was like the perfect gradient where I could just put a steady power and blow by people all the way to the top. Mm-hmm. It was also fun because how I wasn't pushing really hard on the flats or the downhills. So all the people holding steady power the whole race were blowing by me on the flats. And then I would watch them put so much extra effort into what I was doing to gain maybe 10 seconds on me over 3 miles. Mm-hmm. And then I would like put 45 seconds into a minute on them on a climb. Mm-hmm. And then coast and never see him again.
Nice.
So that was good. And then shortly after Jay, there's a descent into some trees with big tape on the ground saying slow down. There's a bump coming up. I didn't listen to it, so I just went full speed. And then I saw the bump and I slammed on my brakes, hit the bump, and I ejected the bottle that I sit between my arms.
Because it also didn't really fit well.
No, it was loose fitting to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily I was 90% done with that bottle. But I saw it hit the ground and slide, and I went by it because I was going faster. And then there's a bridge coming up with a bump, so I watched that, and I stopped on the bridge. But as I stopped, my back wheel jumped to the left as the bottle came up and kicked it into the river. And there's 2 volunteers sitting behind me, and I just looked at them and then looked forward and kept riding. So that was fun. And then the second descent, I'm glad we rode the course because you go down pretty quick. And again, there's slow signs that I don't listen to.
Was that woman there? Because that's the one with the curve.
And she was like waving that there's a corner. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you turn left onto this hard 90 road, there's like a 16% punch for like a decent amount. Mm-hmm. So I like switched into my little gear as I was going down. And then I stood up as I was going around the corner and then I just mashed the pedals over that bit until it steadied out. And then I sat down and kind of got into a groove. But the amount of time, or both times I went on that, all the riders ahead of me had clumped into like a 30-foot pack. Mm-hmm. And then I just went by all of them and then did my own ride. And some of them would catch me, some of them wouldn't. And then I just didn't want to sit on that hill for that long.
Yeah. I liked that bit. I didn't feel like I really had to slow down that much for that. I mean, it was like, it is sharp, but then like you've got space on that turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a lot of the back half was climbing.
Like a steady climb with a couple little dimps down and then back to steady climbing again. So.
But gorgeous. Like you're going along the river and there are waterfalls. And so I'm just like, wow. And then you
reap tears of joy.
I didn't cry then, but I did cry on the bike course. You pass by like a downhill ski mountain, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then you get to, there are like a few hills towards the end. Did you see there was the Cherry Light and then Big Cherry? And then there's Mama Bear.
I saw Mama Bear. I didn't see those other two.
They were before
Gotcha.
Mama Bear. And then Baby Bear and then Papa Bear. You were just very into that.
I'm excited.
And on Papa Bear, there are spectators lining both sides of the road and just going crazy. That was when I cried because I was having so much fun. And then there's all of these people cheering, and I was just like, this is amazing, and it makes me so happy. And then I was smiling so much, and I was crying, and then I was like, I've got to keep smiling because I don't want them to think I'm sad. So then I was like forcing myself to keep smiling as I like keep going.
And on that hill, they weren't just cheering for their people. They were cheering for everybody. They were like standing on the road, kind of like that you see in the Tour de France, where it's like very like crowded, and they just leave you like a line so your bike can get up.
Yep.
And that gave me a bunch of energy. So I was just like pounding extra hard through there. And then it was fun to hear everyone as I was going by, like, oh my God, he's crushing this hill. He's going so fast.
That's awesome. I love that.
I think that's a known hill though, because I heard people talking about it at some point when we were spectating, like the Bears Hill and how it feels like the Tour de France.
Yeah.
So Claire wants to go ride that hill.
You had people saying you were so fast. I had people being like, she looks so happy. Both good things. But yeah, then you come around and you start the second loop. I saw all of you guys, which was fun. I saw my parents, and I literally stopped and I hugged both of them because at this point I was still crying, and I was like, I'm just so happy. And then started the second loop. I don't feel like I had any crazy stories from the second loop.
Because you didn't bring anything for your bike personally, bag.
Nope.
But I did, and then I stopped there. But everybody just decided to stop at the first line and not ride up to where their bag would be. So then it was just a cluster, and then trying to yell to someone to come bring you your bag. And then you had to like, it wasn't like a slow little area to stop, and it was quite tight. So then you're trying to get around the crowd and not get in front of the people that are coming behind you. So that was a little sketchy.
Yeah, I was glad that I had not dropped a bag. Because you also, I mean, you like gained some speed coming down and then going up into that. So it would not have been an ideal
And if you carried
spot.
enough speed, it just threw you over the hill. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. No, the second loop,
So you passed me at mile 60.
yes. And I sat up and we chatted for a little bit.
Yes.
A little chit chat.
Uh-huh.
Maggie told me how much fun she was having.
Yes.
So.
I was like, isn't this amazing? Are you looking around at everything?
Yeah.
And then I was like, go, don't wait for me. Yeah. And then
And I didn't really have anything of issue come up until I turned onto the final climb. And then there was a heavy headwind coming down the valley into our face.
yeah.
Probably at like that was the longest climb of the day. So
It
it
was
got
just-
quite tough.
Generally windier the second loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it did feel hard for the end. There were not as many people on the Bear Hills at that point. There were still some. Yeah, I think that was everything from my bike.
Yeah, I don't think anything.
Yeah. I did. My stomach started to feel bad towards probably like mile 85. But I was like, well, just keep taking nutrition and salt and hopefully it'll get better. And I got off the bike and I went and changed. And I was like, well, it's not really feeling better. I got out of transition and immediately saw Aaron and Holly. And they were like, how are you doing? And I was like, well, my stomach doesn't feel good.
I knew something wasn't fully right when you ran by us.
Yes.
These two switched egos this race, okay? He runs by us every single time and ignores us. He stopped every single time this race.
I stopped
And
the
so-
rest of the
yeah,
time.
but when she ran by the first time, I was like, oh,
I was like, let me carry this as far as I can, and then we'll see what happens.
And her friend had been texting me, and she's like, how is she? And I was like, well, she ran right by us. So I don't know.
Not typical for me. When I started running, I was like, well, maybe I'm okay. Not great, but okay. And then I tried to take a gel, and I threw up in my mouth a little bit. And then I was like, I know I need to keep taking gels. So a couple miles later, I took another gel, and I was like, it's sitting right here. I can't keep doing this. So because there's a lot of out and backs on this course. So it was mile like 3.7 for me when I passed you the first time. You were going the other direction. So that would have been like 5 point
Yeah, I was about there.
something.
And I wasn't sure what you were changing into, so I was trying to look on that side, but I was like, there's so many people running over there. I don't know who I'm looking for.
But I shouted. I was like, Logan. Yeah, so I was about 2 miles behind you. And Holly and Aaron had said that I was about 2 miles behind. I kept running until like mile 9-ish. And then I started doing some walk running. Also, some of the hills were brutal. Yeah.
There wasn't ever a flat, like, there was minimal flat spots. It was, you're either climbing up a hill or going down a hill, and they all changed in their pitches, so you couldn't get used to what you were doing. It was different every time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't know. How was the start of your run? End of your bike, start of your run.
Transition first.
Oh?
Transition first.
I came off the bike, and I was feeling not great about the last 10 miles, but overall I had a really good bike, so I was happy about it. I had a little bit of confusion with the bike grabber because she grabbed my bike and then was about to drop it, so I went to catch it, and then she's like, no, you go. And I was like, please don't drop my bike. So then I like ran over, and then I don't know if you all were there or if it was Laura and Claire, but they started yelling at me.
No, because like I'm like staring at him like, oh, he's not happy. And Claire immediately then starts yeeting herself into the air. And so we're both like waving, but she's just like jumping up and down. And so then you felt the need to.
I don't know if I felt the need to. It kind of was just instinct, but I started jumping up and down on the concrete, the smooth concrete with my cleats.
In the bike shoes.
And so we're watching this, and then Casey comes back and she's like, I got that whole thing on video.
Oh, incredible. I love it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Amazing.
But yeah, so that gave me a good boost. And then I ran out, grabbed my stuff, put my shoes on. I tried wearing socks this time, which we'll get into. But I made it out of transition, and then I saw these guys again first, so I stopped and said hello and hung out with them before I started running. And then I saw Aaron, so then I stopped with Aaron, chatted with Aaron. And then we had a big downhill for a little bit, so I was feeling pretty good. My shins and calves were already pretty sore, so I was like, usually when I start running, it's like the first 2-3 miles hurt, and I just need to get through that, and then you get another 2-3 miles of mental battle, and then everything's fine. The physical battle never ended, so I made it up to your parents, and I was still feeling good. And then I went down the hill onto the first, like, out and back by the ski lifts, and that's when I was like, oh, I can't run, like, a full mile. So then I was trying to slow down my pace and still run, but I was still needing to stop and walk a lot. But yeah, and then I saw you, and you're only 2 miles behind me, and I was like, she's probably moving way quicker than me, so we're gonna be able to run
at that
like
point.
a decent amount together.
Yeah, but then so I started walk running at mile 9, I think, because I also stopped to try to go to the bathroom at that point to see if that would help, and it did not. And I had taken 2 gels, and both of them made me throw up a little bit in my mouth. And so then I was like, well, let me try the Mortons from the aid station. So I got one of the Mortons, and I started taking that, and I got through about half of it in 5 miles. So that was not great. Also because you do the first long out and back, you go up the steep hill in town, and then you do a short out and back, but it's miserable. The hills there were not fun.
No, they were just like long and grueling, but then they also like kind of flattened out a little bit.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just get into a steady
No.
stride. You had to like adjust.
Yeah.
Which was not enjoyable.
Not enjoyable. So then you come back from that one and you're going through town before you go by the lake. And that's when I saw you guys. And you were like, how are you doing? And I was like, not great. I'm having all of these stomach issues. And so then you were like, well, do you want Zofran? I was like, yeah. So.
You also handed me all of your jobs.
Right.
Holding the open one too. You were still holding the open one too.
I had my one that I was slowly consuming, not much of. And then I took all of the rest of them and I said, take these. They're going to make me
Like
throw
the
up.
full like grab, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Seems like a choice.
I knew I was not going to be able to have any more of those. So yeah, then I did the out and back by the lake and then came back down, and I was walking quite a bit at this point, but then saw you and took Zofran. Miracle drug, people. So
It is a miracle drug.
helps a lot with nausea. So yeah, that was good. And then I kept Casey said something. She was like, well, don't feel like you need to rush back. You've got plenty of time. I was like, okay, perfect. Good.
Well, like at that point, you had 6 hours to do a half marathon.
Yeah.
So, like, we're good.
Yeah, I had plenty of time. So yeah, I walked a lot. There were a few miles that were pretty slow in there. I had consumed half the gel and I was like, I don't think I can keep having this. So then I started trying to have some Coke at aid stations, but then I was having like really aggressive burps and that just was really uncomfortable as well. So then I started eating the potato chips at the aid stations, and that was decent. So I would take a cup and I would walk with it while I was eating, and then I would hold on to it and try to run for a little bit. Throw it away at the next aid station. I feel like I'm really going through the run fast here. Do you have any other?
Yeah, no, when I was finishing up the bike, I was getting sick of all the sweet stuff I was drinking because my carb bottles are sweet. And then I drank like 4 or 5 bottles of the precision hydration stuff, also sweet. And then I was really craving a Big Mac and a frozen coffee. And then at that point I was like, I need something salty in me immediately. So mac and cheese. I got to the first aid station and I grabbed the potato chips and then I dumped them out in my hand because I didn't want to carry the cup with me. And then I ate because they filled the cup to the brim and it was just like
Which was perfect.
paper drinking cup. Oh, I did not enjoy that. I was like, this is way too much for me to eat right now.
I had not eaten anything for many miles, so I was like, I need as many chips as I can get.
So I think I ate about half of them and then I threw the rest in somebody's yard. But yeah, I made it out to that first out and back. And then that's when everything started to feel like it was trudging along. And then not only my shins were hurting, but my ankles were hurting. And then my hips started hurting because I was changing my running stride.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that was when I was running like 3/4 of a mile, walking a quarter mile, running, trying to run again. The first lap, I saw you, and then I got back to that big hill before the second out and back. And then there's an aid station at the bottom and at the top. And I was like, I'm just going to power up this hill because I feel like walking up it would be so long. So I ran as quick as I could up the hill, and then I turned, and then as soon as I got away from the crowds of people, I started walking.
I walked that hill both times. And it's funny when you're going past many people cheering while you're walking, and they have so much time to look at you.
And then I made it through there, and then I saw these guys again before the last out and back. And then I came back.
Is that when you jumped?
And then I was excited to see them again, so I started jumping down, like bounding down the hill towards them.
That's what you should use your energy for.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't get my legs to move very fast.
I I was like, don't jump, but you were jumping so high.
I think it was like an optical illusion.
Maybe.
Because he was coming at us down the hill, but I do agree. I was like, why are you that far in the air? I didn't think you could jump that high, but there he was, bounding towards us.
And then I ran down to the bottom of that big hill, and I walked a lot. Because I think at that point, I still thought you were only like 2 miles behind me, or you were closing in on me, and I couldn't see you on the out and back. So then I was just like, oh, maybe we're like the same gap still or whatever. And then I like asked them, I was like, do you know how Maggie's doing? And they're like, no, we haven't talked to her yet, which they probably haven't now that I'm thinking about it. But I continued running, and then I got to the long out and back, and I was like, I'm not seeing her. I didn't see her parents on like the way out. Like something happened to them, and nobody told me. But then I did see you about, you were like 4 miles behind me at that point, and that was a big relief.
Yes.
So
We
I
had
think
a very
that's
good
why
hug.
the hug I gave you was
Yes.
so
It
impressive.
was a very solid hug, and I was like, this was good. I needed this. Yeah, you said, you were like, I was worried.
But yeah, I think
Got a 2-hour unbound. We're good.
then after that, we had the big climb out of that valley that I ran up 3/4 of, and then decided to walk over the top of it. And then I met a friend, some lady on her first loop was running up, and then she looked at the group of 4 guys, all similar in age to me, and she's like, I didn't say you guys could start walking. So then we all started like running a little bit, and then I was like, I can't run right now. So I was like sticking with her, and then she started talking to me. So then we talked for like 2.5 miles, and I was
Love
like, oh, like this is actually really nice. I have some momentum going. And then she was gonna go stop and talk to her family. So I was like, I would love to keep running with you, but I need to just go. Which she was fully supportive of. And then I made it down, powered up the big hill, and that time I actually carried it through the next aid station.
Nice.
Which I regretted because the next climb sucked, and then it had to come back down. And then I saw you guys, and I had, I don't know, 3-ish, less than 3 miles. And then I turned up the final out and back, and my whole body started shutting down. I was like, no, everything hurts. I was like, I can't. And then I noticed at that point that it was my ankles that were hurting.
Because of your socks?
And I think I didn't readjust my shoelaces to account for the socks, but also my feet had swollen up, so they were hurting where the socks were, like the edge of the socks were. So I was trying to like fold them out, and then I was like, I should just take the socks off and run, but I was like, I don't want blisters.
Someone take his socks.
But then I figured out I could grab the cup of ice, and then I just rubbed the ice cube on my ankles for a while.
Smart.
And that worked for a little bit. And then my friend caught up to me, and I was just, because we hit the out and back, and she saw me, and I was like in obvious pain.
Yes.
And then I kept running, and I was new shoes behind me, so I turned around to give her a high five. And then she like grabbed my hand, and she said, nope, you're coming with me. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, you're almost at the finish.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And she had a whole nother loop to do, so she was being very generous with this.
It's amazing.
I was like, I can walk and make it. Like,
I love it.
but she got me to the split off point, and I wished her well, and then I got to go run to the finish line.
Amazing. It was on the long out and back. So we passed each other. I made it to the turnaround, and I was partway back when I made my friend, Jason, and we walked together the rest of the race.
Sorry.
No, into the
Jason Derulo.
one wasn't as good.
But it was great. It was so helpful having another person. We chatted and we would be like, okay, we're going to run to that sign and then we're going to walk for a bit. And we were like, we're going to walk all of the uphills and we'll run the downhills. And he was having some Achilles pain. I was still having stomach issues. But yeah, it was just really helpful having a person, and we literally went the rest of the way. When we made, so you could turn off to do your second lap or go into the finish, and then you get onto the oval. when we got onto the oval, there was a woman who had just collapsed and was like down on her knees. And so then we went by her and I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm good." I was like, "Okay, you can like come with us." Like, yeah, I was nervous for her, but I think she did finish. I think she was okay. And then, yeah, that was it. I felt really happy about the day. Like the run could have gone better, but it was still so fun. And yeah,
I think going into the day, not having really many ambitions about it, and then flipping my mindset in the swim just to have a fun day, it really made me not push through a lot of the pain like I usually do, and kind of just like really take care of myself and try to make sure everything's going okay. And yeah.
I thought, Logan, watching you finish was one of your most celebratory, if that's the correct word to use, finishes. Like, you looked so good and so happy coming to that. And honestly, my first thought was like, oh, he ate. He ate during this race. He actually put some calories down, and that had to have helped.
I mean, same thought. Well, because Holly and I have traveled with these two for multiple races, and that was a same thought I had where I was like, wow, he had so much fun this time. Like, he gave us so many hugs, you guys. Usually he just blows by it. Like, I'm like, okay, bye. Hugs and jumps. So.
and it was still a good day. I also had a really good bike. You had a really good bike. I think just like having at least one thing that you're like, that was really good. Like, then it's a good day, you know?
And then I think after the race, I like got out and left the area, and then as I was like walking out, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna find these these guys. So then I just sat down in the grass and was eating my fries.
Full lay.
Ground time.
Ground time. And then Claire found me and then scared the crap out of me. She came up from like behind me.
Well, the plan also was to, like, the last time we saw you, to be like, don't go and get your stuff. Like, we'll find you, and then Maggie will finish. And you, like, ran away, and I was like, oh, shit. We didn't tell him that detail. But so we saw him finish, went to go try and find you, and I was like, Claire, he's right there. And she's like, I got it. I'll go get him.
But I could not see him at all. I was just like, I'll go that way.
Wait, you didn't actually know where I was sending you? No. Oh. Perfect. Perfect.
It all worked out.
Sorry.
In the meantime of that, Casey and I are like, what is happening? Because Laura's going one direction. We think Claire is going with her. We're like, okay, they're going to Maggie. Who's going to Logan? So then Casey and I are like, we have to go to Logan. So we're trying to find Logan. We go to like the athlete exit area, and we're just like standing there, like trying to like scan the hundreds of people who are like coming out. Where's Logan? We can't see him. And then we're like, we're going to miss Maggie. She's over there. We don't know where anybody is. And we're looking. Then we get this text message, and Claire's like, did you find Logan? And we're like, no. And she's like, I found him, or something like that. I'm like, okay, great. And where are you? And she says, ground. That's it. Just ground.
We were just looking at the sky.
And I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, what do you mean? There's a lot of ground here. What does that mean?
That's so funny.
But yeah, then once everyone regrouped and they sent Maggie off on her last out and back, Aaron was still waiting at the finish shoot, watching all the stuff. And then I was trying to get over there as soon as possible because I wanted to celebrate with Aaron as well. So. And then I almost gave him a hug on his broken collarbone, and then I had to like scoot around to the other side.
Meanwhile, when I finished, I sat down in the athlete area because I was looking out, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait here until I see someone I know. I'm not moving. And then I saw my parents, so then I went with them, and then I laid on the ground, and then they texted you to find all of you.
I will say the medical staff and like or whoever the volunteers are at the finish chute were probably the most friendly I have ever had at a race. Usually they grab you and then they hand you a bunch of stuff and then they like push you along your way. Or if they take you to the med tent, they try to take you to the med tent. This time she like took me, sat me down in a, like, there was no open chairs, but she found a chair and then walked me to it, sat me down. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm just going to sit here and then I'm going to go get my own food. And she's like, do you want food? And then she went and got me like chocolate milk, a cranberry juice, fries, and pizza. And I was like, oh, awesome.
I did not have that experience, but I'm so glad you had that experience. The volunteers were nice. They just weren't like that amazingly nice. Yeah, I think that's the day.
So we also did one of the things we gave advice on is where are you going to meet at the end of the race? We didn't do any of that discussion.
Yeah.
We just wung in, hope for the best.
I did feel like this race, particularly, it was hard to find people.
It was nice because things were close.
Yes, but it just
But
felt
like it was
everywhere
so
was
congested. Yeah. Agreed.
But I loved this race. Would do it again.
And then once you got out of the food area, there was a left or a right you could take. And there was no clear way which way the athletes should go. So then I just went left and Maggie went right. So
Yes.
we ended up on opposite sides of the whole blocked off area.
I do think when I was leaving, they were telling us to go to the right.
That would make sense.
Yeah. They had probably figured out by then that they needed to direct people one way. Yeah.
Any closing thoughts, friends?
I would say from a spectating standpoint, this race was not the easiest to spectate. It was a little tricky. There were lots of opportunities to see people, but it was a lot. There was a lot of walking. I don't know if Aaron has any feelings about it, but at one point, Aaron fully took a nap on the side of the bike course. Yeah. Like fully asleep in the chair. Like,
Upright.
yes, but fully asleep. Anyone who knows Aaron knows that he can sleep literally anywhere. This was just another example of that.
I might be sleeping right now.
It's true.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
It's true. I think overall it was a good day. Nothing that happened for me personally makes me want to come back and race this race. I am pretty sure this is not the style of racing that I prefer or that suits my strengths, but more power to everyone who does, because it is beautiful here and it is like all the kind of lore of Lake Placid I thought was super cool, right? Like they've been here 27 years and they have the rock with the plaque on it and the town is clearly like very into it. So I think all of that is cool and worth seeing and worth experiencing, even if you come do it as a spectator.
There were more participants, they kept saying. There were more participants in the race than there were normal town population. Town population was 2,400, and they said there was 2,600 athletes.
And the bike course wasn't like accessible for the spectators, but it did go by a lot of like people's houses, and almost everybody was out in their driveways, sitting on chairs, having tables, playing music, doing something. So I think that made not having the spectators out there still made the course feel like there was support for you pretty much along the whole way. So
I did pass a guy who was asleep in a chair on the bike course.
oh, was
It
he
not
like
you.
laying in the back like
Yes,
face up in the
sunglasses on.
Yep.
Well, we were like having a conversation and Holly goes, no, he's asleep. And I was like, he's upright though. Like his head is upright.
The amount of times, effort that I've put into practicing this, you know where this comes from? I grew up Catholic.
Oh, in church. Sorry,
And
Mom.
This is where I learned how to fall asleep sitting upright.
You're not wrong. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, it was fun to spectate. Like Holly mentioned at one point, she's like, we have so much crap. And I'm like, yeah, because 50% of this, like when we're watching an Ironman Wisconsin, it's in the car. Like you're loading and unloading your backpack for different things, but like we had everything we needed at one point with us. So overall, it was a great day. Everyone finished, smiles on their faces. we're headed to California next. 3 of the 4 people on this couch are racing.
One of the 2 people on this couch is Sherping.
Yep. The other one's downstairs refusing to be part of our podcast today. And Henry. Henri. So yeah, we'll probably talk about Reading in the next couple weeks. Anyone else's last thoughts?
How many good mustaches were there? How many good mustaches were there?
I mean, I feel like at least 20. They run by you enough times we lost track, but we had a full mustache judgment contest.
I think we were recounting at one point.
Yeah, and bucket hats. So, okay. Shall I wrap us out? Wrap it up. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Substack, Instagram, email, TikTok.
DM.
Slide into our DMs.
Reach out and say hey if you know us personally.
Questions, comments, concerns. Send them. We'll reply. If you want to be on the podcast, also slide in.
No concerns. Don't want to hear your concerns. Comments, welcome. Concerns, not.
Okay, bye.